This is the Bob and Tom Show. Thanks very much for joining us. We're live in the Napa Auto Parts Studios. Our engineer, of course, is Ace Cosby.
Hello, friends.
Thank you very much. That's Chick McGee across the way. I smell steaks. It's the Omaha Steak Sports Desk. No, I smell the sea. It's the ocean. It's look at those impressive vessels. It's the Navy Federal Credit Union news desk. 10,000 sailors can't be wrong.
That's
it's
right.
Christy Lee. Wait a minute, that didn't sound right.
It's okay.
There's Josh over there. That's Pat Godwin at the so-called Pat Cave with his special guest Willie Concarney stopping by today. This is Tom speaking. Welcome back to the Bob and Tom program. Happy to have you here. Now, we have a lot to get to, so why don't we just get right to it right now. Christy.
Well, this probably sounded confusing over the police radio. 5 guys are arrested after a fight broke out at a Florida restaurant known as Five Guys. Stewart Police Department says the fist fight broke out on July 17th. According to an arrest report, a witness told authorities one of the men, quote, talking as...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He was talking...
And then a cup was thrown. A door was slammed in a person's face before fists were thrown. Then an all-out brawl broke out, according to the report. The Post said 3 juveniles, 2 adult males were charged. Once again, 5 guys arrested at a fist fight at Five Guys.
You ever been to Five Guys, Christy?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I tell you what they weren't fighting over.
They're French fries?
The amount of fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's
They're
the
French
most?
fries.
Is that the most French fries per order of any
I
restaurant?
agree.
I think it's genius. You get a bag. Here's a bag of fries.
Bag.
It's a great idea.
So I wonder what they were fighting about. Because not getting enough fries. I mean,
You think Wendy starts stuff over at her place?
you think Wendy's is going to get in a fight at Wendy's?
I don't know.
Wow.
I bet a Wendy has been arrested at a Wendy's.
God knows whatever happened to the Fuddruckers.
Oh, man. You do not want to see those pictures.
That'd be non-consensual.
Mother Fuddrucker is there.
Oh, you scared the hell out of me.
Every now and then she'll show up.
Yeah.
Was that the place when they first came with the signs everywhere, no photography?
Yep.
I don't
Really?
remember.
Why?
They
I
did
don't
not like
remember
take
that at
pictures in
all.
there for some reason.
Why?
I don't know the design.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I'm totally serious.
The layout is actually unique.
That worked for him.
Well,
Yeah, because you can't drive down the street without seeing a Fuddrucker.
so maybe.
I'm a fan.
I am
Have those
too.
big
Do
potato
they have any
wedges.
left?
Do they still have... There was one at an airport I went to.
It's right next to the Boston Market.
There's one in St. Louis that'll never close. It's
Really?
always busy.
I bet it will.
Yeah, you're right in mind. I hope not, though. Delicious.
Huh.
So back to the point. This story is there was a
5 guys.
Five
fighting.
Guys restaurant with
Yeah.
5 guys arrested at a Five Guys. The phone call to the cops must have been like a who's on first.
Yeah,
thing.
no kidding.
Freddie Mercury was once thrown out of a Dairy Queen.
Really?
Oh, I get it. Queen. I heard
Dairy
Queen
Queen.
Elizabeth was
Gotcha.
bitch slapped
At a Dairy
by a
Queen?
Dairy Queen employee.
Wow. I want to. My buddy and I were working
He's
together.
losing air again.
And for lunch, he was like, I want to go to Five Guys. And he kept talking about it. I was like, all right. And then later he texted me, and all the text said was, I want Five Guys in my mouth right now. And he has I've never let him live it down.
Is that right?
Well.
That could be misconstrued.
I think.
Whatever you're into, that's quite a few at the same time. That may be a record.
Yes.
Maybe. I think 2 sailors have ever gotten into a fight at Popeyes. we can do this all day.
Or it would seem like it.
Wendy's.
And I love Popeye's chicken, too.
I have never been to a Popeyes.
good stuff.
It's really delicious.
Red beans and rice.
Red beans
Really?
and rice, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
I'm getting really hungry. Okay, can we get back to the...
A baby born at 7:11 p.m. on 7-Eleven Day, July 7th,
What
weighed in
the
at 7
hell
pounds
is
and
going
11
on?
ounces.
This is bizarre.
Was it at a 7-Eleven?
No, it wasn't at a 7-Eleven, but according to Fox 2,
We're on your side.
SSM Health St. Mary's Hospital in St. Louis.
SM some healthy babies.
SM2. SMR.
Reports
CM
Rachel
Wangs.
Langford and her baby, Jamie Brown, are doing well. According to a 7-Eleven press release, after catching wind of the incredible news, 7-Eleven decided to pledge $7,111 to the newborn's college fund to honor her
Presumptuous.
entry to the world.
Whatever.
July 7th is always 7-Eleven Day, by the way, for those of you.
Okay. So
Wait, stop.
The baby was born.
Well, of course it's 7-Eleven Day.
No.
And
No,
7/12 is 7/12 Day. What are you talking about?
No, July 7th would be 7/7.
Right. Shouldn't it be July 11th?
Yeah.
It
It says here July 7th is 7-Eleven Day.
It makes no sense.
So it's 7-7. I don't know.
Wouldn't you go with the 11th? I'm no genius.
Yeah, you
but
should.
Isn't Pi Day 3/14?
Right.
We went 3/3.
I don't remember 7/7/77 being a big deal. I don't remember that.
Well,
So I'm sorry.
I wasn't born.
So this kid was born on
at
7/11.
7:11 p.m. on 7-Eleven Day and weighed
Is the
7
husband
pounds
going,
11
Hold on,
ounces.
hold on. Don't squeeze it out yet. We got to get that scholarship
Yeah.
fund.
And he weighed 7 pounds 11
She.
ounces. This
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah.
Being breastfed on those Slurpees.
Oh,
Well, that'll be good.
that'll be a fat kid. Yeah.
I'd rather hear about the heavy metal knitting championship, I think.
Oh, I think this is all right. There's a picture of this kid right here. It's the kid's wearing a bib. Says "Baby can't open safe."
That's good.
That's a good joke.
I want to see.
Baby
this
only
thing.
carries cash. Only $20 in cash.
Yep, this says I'm reading this right. Yep, 7-Eleven at for whatever reason the 7th of. Wouldn't it be the 11th? But it says the 7th.
Would you let
of
it
July.
go? You're not
No,
going to
it
change them.
doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
Wouldn't 7-Eleven?
Well, we'll add it to the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Well, I'm glad that's a nice, healthy baby. Everything's fine. Slurpees for life until the kid weighs 711 pounds.
Man, I haven't been in a 7-Eleven in a long time.
they do give out free Slurpees on 7-Eleven Day, by the
They're
way.
called Flurpees. You're right.
Slurpees, yeah. I know because my daughter put up a picture on Instagram. She was very excited about 7-Eleven
About the
Day.
Slurpee.
On
Yes.
July 7th
Yes.
is 7-Eleven Day. Maybe that's when the Southland Corporation, because, I used to work for 7-Eleven.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe that's
Now, by work, how long did you work at a 7-Eleven?
a month.
What'd you do there?
Well, go ahead, make fun, but I can't tell you why I quit, but I did.
I remember. Is this the where you worked, where like the rollercade would let out or
It
something?
was the USA, the United States of America.
Okay, yeah.
It was
And
next
you
door.
would lock the doors?
Friday night and Saturday night, I would
Yeah.
lock the door at 11 o'clock.
and you sit under the counter or whatever. And,
Hence, compromising our claim of being open 24 hours a day.
And you
Yes.
hid back there?
Yes, because the first time I did not lock the door at Friday at 11:30, and the scamps, those skaters,
You mean customers?
those naughty little kids,
Yeah.
shoplifting me blind.
didn't many 7-Elevens and like Denny's not have locks on their doors because they were always
open.
24/7?
We had a lock.
I see.
Yeah. And I stood in the back eating a ding dong.
A stolen
Stolen
ding
or
dong?
Was
Stolen
that
ding
the-
dong. It was all right for me to shoplift.
Was that the reason for your termination?
No.
Were you allowed to eat whatever you wanted while you were there?
Well, I don't think it was never written out, but
It was assumed.
I think it was implied on my behalf that I could
Help
have a
yourself
ding
to the-
dong.
Did you ever have sex in the 7-Eleven?
No, never had sex in the 7-Eleven. No.
Andy?
I might have gotten a blow jay. How about that? How about that?
Well.
Might means no.
Remember when 7-Eleven came out with the giant gulp that was bigger than
Yes.
a human stomach?
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Man, that was news.
Oh, yeah.
It was like an orange juice carton.
A big gulp and a giant gulp.
Yeah, whatever that thing was called.
Should they name the baby Slurpee?
Yes, sure.
No,
She's lovely. Give
you're
her a
not
Slurpee.
naming a little girl Slurpee.
Better than chili cheese dog.
Well,
Or Vornado. Or
I think that we're going to hook up with Mike Love here in just a second. Mike Love of the Beach Boys, in just a matter of moments from hooking up with Mr. Love, who I actually saw at the Denver airport.
Oh, really?
Which it's a kind of a funny story. I'm sure
Well,
you
he
won't
gets
remember.
around.
I get around. I get around. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This should be Mr. Love right now. Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
I'm standing in East Germany, in Freiburg, Germany, in the shadows of a 12th century cathedral. And it is Mike Love calling in. We have a show here in East Germany tonight.
Oh, wow. Hey, Mike, I want to say thank you for the oddest thing, and I'm sure you don't remember this. I was on the train at the Denver airport, and my 2-year-old daughter was sort of Googling around, and you looked at, I didn't know it was you, and she was kind of going boo, boo, ba, ba, and you started going ba, 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 Barbaran. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I looked over, and I went, oh, my God, that's Mike Love of the Beach Boys, and you were wearing a Utah Salt Lake City Olympics jacket.
That's right. That was quite a few years ago, wasn't it?
Just a couple, 2-3 years ago. But anyway, you were so gracious. You had no idea that I didn't want to say anything after I realized, my God, that's Mr. Mike Love, one of the finest songwriters in history, singing to my little 2-year-old. So thank you. That was a very super cool thing to do.
How old is that 2-year-old now?
She's 3.5. So
yeah,
it wasn't
right.
that long ago. But you were on the train linking the various parts at the Denver airport. So thank you. That was a great moment.
Oh, look, I was going to say, I thought you were on a train because the new Denver airport, newer one, is probably so far out of town that you have to take a train.
Yeah. It is indeed. It is indeed. Now, Mike, among other things, I know you've got a few more dates, solo dates coming up. Asheville, North Carolina, Orkney Springs, Virginia, and Atlantic City, New Jersey. You're in Germany now. Now, is this part of the Mike Love tour?
Oh, no. It's the Beach Boys.
Okay.
But I have a solo album, Mike Love's, 12 Sides of Summer.
Right.
So I did, I released that as a solo album. But I had the help of an entire band and the producer, Sam Hollander, as well as our band leader and music director. He produced 5 songs, including Rockaway Beach and Here Comes the Sun. And Sam Hollander did Serpent Safari, and the new one, California Beach. So I had a lot of help from my friends, as Ringo would say.
And Rockaway Beach, the famous Ramones tune, reimagined.
Yeah.
I often, people don't understand often that you're the guy that penned so many of the lyrics of some of the most famous songs ever written, which I do.
Well, thank you. I mean, I had the great pleasure to work with my cousin Brian back in the early to mid '60s, all the way up through Good Vibrations. Came back with "Do It Again," which is the #1 song in England, and was #1 for weeks in Australia. So we've had some really wonderful records. We did the California Girls in 1965, and the Pet Sounds album, and Barbara Ann in 1966. So. We've had a really wonderful history together, and believe me, we're finishing up in Germany tonight, and then we're heading back to Asheville, North Carolina. But the people in Germany loved the Beach Boys because they were suppressed for many years by the Soviets, and now they are completely nuts in a good way for Western music. Beach Boys.
And the Beach Boys, some of the most American songs ever written. Going back to some of those classics, Good Vibrations, et cetera, what was the technique in terms of lyrics or music, or would Brian play you the tune and you'd come up with the lyrics? How did it work usually?
Well, and specifically in Good Vibrations, he was sampling or going around to various studios and coming up with what ultimately became the composite that became the track of Good Vibrations. The lyrics hadn't been written yet, so I dictated the lyrics to my then wife, driving a Jaguar to the studio, and I said, "Take this down. I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair." So I wrote the words the day of the session where we were doing the vocals and handed them over to Brian. He liked them. He handed them over to Carl Wilson, who sang the lead. On the verses, I did I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitation. And it came out beautiful. It went to #1. And we were voted the #1 group in Great Britain, #2 being the Beatles, and =4 the Rolling Stones. So that was a pretty awesome situation because nobody's been more successful than the Beatles, and the Stones are the darn good rock group.
Yeah, but to think that those lyrics are so good. I mean, it's one of the greatest. I think it's one of the greatest rock songs of all time. And the lyrics, they're so important to that song. And then when you hand it to the likes of Carl Wilson, one of the greatest vocalists ever.
Oh my gosh!
That had to be.
Yeah, he did God Only Knows on the Pet Sounds album, and just every night we were mesmerized by his voice. My son Christian sings God Only Knows now, and he on tour, and he has a timbre in his voice similar to Carl, and it's kind of eerie in a good way. But we lost Carl 21 years ago to lung cancer, But he's with us every night when we sing that one.
We're talking, by the way, with Mike Love of the Beach Boys, one of the great songwriters of all time, along with, as he's mentioned, his cousin Brian Wilson. And Mr. Love is on tour with the Beach Boys. You're still doing a lot of dates. You going to keep doing it forever?
Well, as long as, the nature permits. But anyway, idle hands are devil's workshop, they say. So I like doing concerts, and it's a family hobby that became a long-lasting profession. And so we're very blessed. I mean, here we are in Germany. We've been all over Europe, played the Royal Albert Hall in London, which is beautiful, and sold out 2 nights there. I mean, so I find that we have so much to be grateful for, and literally I'm standing in the shadows of a 12th century cathedral in Freiburg, Germany. It's just an amazing edifice. And even during World War II, the people that were, bombing, they bombed all around it, but they left that alone. So, which is a beautiful thing, because it is gorgeous.
Well, Mike, it's a great pleasure. Thanks again for being so kind to my little girl on the train. That was such a great moment. And I probably should have said, hey, by the way, aren't you Mr. Love? I didn't. But we'll be looking forward to seeing the Beach Boys. And Mike's new album is called 12 Sides of Summer, featuring, among other things, a Ramones cover. So thanks again, Mike. Thanks for all the great music, of course, over the years, and thanks for giving us a call. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom. And I'll keep taking that train and informing the kids what it's all about.
Thank you, sir. That was a great moment. Barbara Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah, that happened to me at the Denver airport.
How cool is that?
I didn't know it was, and all this guy's going, bop, bop. I look over, and I'm thinking, is that Mike Love of the Beach Boys? And
what are the odds? That's cool.
Yeah, it was. There's because at the Denver airport, which is like 3,000 miles from Denver.
Yeah.
There's that train that takes you between, kind of like Atlanta. In any event.